right now, at this very moment, people are talking about the Juan Manuel Marquez, Manny Pacquiao World Super Featherweight title fight. Indeed, a classic matchup in the making. What are your thoughts about this fight, Nigel?
Well, I guess we've all been waiting for about 4 years for this rematch, and it looked for a while like it wasn't going to happen because Manny's star was rising and Marquez was sort of treading water. But he's come on strong recently. Beat Barrera, beat Rocky Juarez. His star has risen, especially with the Barrera victory. And now we're finally going to have it. And anytime two great fighters fight a draw, there's always interest in another one. It took a little while. They're fighting in a different weight class now. They're a little bit older. I think Manny Pacquiao has improved his game since that night. This is something a lot of people have been looking forward to, and, I frankly can't wait till Saturday night.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned about both fighters, are 4 years older than after their first fight, but will that be a factor, especially for Marquez, who at this time he'll be turning 35, I think, anytime this year?
Yeah, age is always a factor, but I think it's more than chronological age with a boxer. It's how many tough fights they've had.
Mm-hmm. And
actually, both of these fellas have had tough fights, Mm-hmm. Even some of Manny's fights that we thought were going to be relatively easy turned out to be tough, like the Oscar Larios fight, in Manila. He got tagged with that left hook and had to come back. I think that both of these men are so focused and dedicated towards winning this fight. I do not think age is going to play a big factor.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe after that it will catch up with them. And of course, Manny is significantly younger, and he certainly has youth on his side. On the other side, Marquez has this marvelous boxing brain, ability to adapt, like we saw in the first fight, the ability to box, the ability to slug. He has Nacho Burstein as a trainer who is considered sort of a minor genius. So there's so much involved in this. The pride of the Mexican people, the pride of the Filipino people, two great fighters. I will be absolutely shocked if it's not another great fight.
And by the way, how do you rate both fighters if we talk about their last two fights, which I believe is a good gauge for us to get an idea on how both fighters will perform come March 15?
Well, I think that, my personal feeling is that the only danger for Manny Pacquiao, the main danger, is if he tries to outbox Marquez.
Mm-hmm.
Manny has improved a lot with his skills. His right hand is a lot better than it was 4 years ago. His upper body movement is a lot better than it was 4 years ago. He's thinking more. But there's always a danger of thinking too much and sacrificing the natural ability that he's always had, the ferocity. I remember turning to a Filipino colleague of yours, Hermie Rivera,
mm-hmm.
at the rematch with Barrera, and saying to Hermie, "Where's the ferocity?" And Manny outboxed Barrera. No two ways about it. He won without really having to go to war, and I guess that was a smart thing. But I think Manny has to fight like he did in the second and third fights with Eric
mm-hmm.
Morales, where he uses his new skills but does not abandon the ferocious attack that carried him to the top.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Manny Pacquiao is unique amongst all athletes in the world. Even fighters like Ricky Hatton, who have tremendous following, and Joe Calzaghe in England, and we can point to Oscar De La Hoya here in this country and other fighters around the world. There's a lot of them that are extremely popular, but I don't think anybody is an idol the way Manny Pacquiao is to the people of the Philippines and the Filipinos that live in the United States and all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, listen, if you or me had his money, we would lose focus too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's tremendously tough to stay focused when you're on top of the world, you're the idol of millions, and you have people coming to you from every direction with all kinds of proposals that they want you to do, all kinds of things you want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, Manny has now got past that. And it sounds by what he's saying that he has.
Mm-hmm.
And that he's returning. I mean, he was on the HBO Countdown. He said, you know, if it wasn't for boxing, nobody would know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And then he laughed.
Now he realizes that, huh?
Yeah, I certainly hope he is, because, you know, as a journalist, we can't play favorites in these fights. But you would be stupid not to realize how important Manny Pacquiao is to boxing. And let's face it, there's not been a fighter from the Philippines like him since Flash Lordy.
Mm-hmm.
That was a long time ago, Dennis.
Exactly.
And you know, he's probably got another 5 or 6 years where he can be at his peak if he worked at it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's right on the cusp now of being the greatest Filipino boxer of all time.
Okay.
And that's all due respect to Flash Lordy and Pancho Villa and all the other great fighters. But he has this window of opportunity for another 5 or 6 years where he could accomplish unbelievable things.
Mm-hmm.
But like you say, if the focus strays, that could be the end of it.
Okay. And people are talking about the fighters, money, you know, but a lot of people tend to forget, Nigel, the prestige of being crowned champion, being the champion in the hearts of fight fans, a belt holder. Something that you want to instill in people's mind, as well as among fighters. I think that's one of the reasons why you really give importance to your championship belt.
Well, you know, Manny, the winner of the fight between Manny and Juan Manuel Marquez on Saturday will be the first ever junior featherweight champion since the Ring magazine launched its new championship policy in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
The title has been vacant all that time. Now, of course, Manny was the Ring featherweight champion for beating Barrera, but that was, you know, he's moved up now. We now have undisputed Ring magazine world champions in 9 weight classes, and the winner Saturday, and this is a draw, of course, will make 10.
You also mentioned about Manny obtaining unbelievable things in the next 5 years if he'll remain focused with his career. A fight against De La Hoya, Ricky Hatton, Mayweather, it has been mentioned, and it continues to be talked about the past few weeks. Is that something that you see happening in the horizon, a part of the unbelievable things happening for Manny in the coming months or years?
Well, I think, first of all, he obviously has to get past Saturday, which is a huge hurdle. But let's say for discussion's sake, he's successful. I think Manny fighting Oscar De La Hoya is absolutely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Freddie Roach said that he looked like he swallowed the medicine ball if he was that heavy. I mean, Manny is going to weigh in the day before, Friday afternoon, he's going to weigh in at 130 pounds or less. Oscar De La Hoya last fought at 152 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he comes down to welterweight, that's 17 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Oscar is a real stretch. And even Ricky Hatton is a stretch at junior welterweight, 140 pounds. I think that there's enough great fighters around the weight that he is now.
Mm.
Yeah. That you know, why it's I just think it's going too far, and it's not really a fair fight. That's the reason the weight divisions were originally established. Back in the old bare knuckle days, everybody fought the same. To make it a fair fight. And as great as Manny is, I think it would be ridiculous to go up that and weigh in for a fight at 147 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can you imagine what he would look like if you put 17 more pounds on him? Where's he going to put it?
Yeah.